It's the Moss Minute.
Hey everyone, I'm Nicole Moss. I'm the co-founder of Moss Consulting HR Services, and welcome to the Moss Minute. I'm here with Jillian Renken, who is the marketing manager for Frontera Search Partners, and we're going to talk about all cool things Frontera. We provide HR services for them. Jillian does incredible marketing. I'm sure you've seen all over LinkedIn and other places. So let's jump in, Jillian. Why don't you tell us about you and your role?
Yeah. So I started with Frontera about 2.5 years ago now, and I actually started in business development. Surprisingly enough, I was the first BD hire that we had for the commercial side of things. Prior to that, Frontera had been mainly working in the government space. So one of my big things was to go out there and meet as many people as possible, healthcare facilities, hospitals, clinics, join organizations and things like that. And so through that, I got to meet a lot of great people, obviously got some contracts, which was my job. But since then, we've grown tremendously. And in the last couple of months, I actually transitioned. I got a promotion into heading up all of our marketing at Frontera. So that's been a really great experience. Catch us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. So it's been really cool being able to kick off all these new projects.
It was really fun to watch you onboard. And we're going to go back a little bit to one of my favorite stories about you is you interviewed for a job at Paycom, if I remember.
Yeah.
And in the interview, did they make you do a sales call?
4 hours of cold calling.
And you made a sale.
I did, yeah. I set a meeting, but I had to set 4 meetings, so I didn't quite hit quota on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you landed in the best spot. But I just thought that was so funny that they put you to work in your interview. And Paycom's and go Paycom, I guess. That's smart. See if you can do it. But you're doing marketing. You do all kinds of very creative things. Talk about the transition between business development to marketing.
Yeah, it actually wasn't that bad of a transition because I think I had already been doing a lot of those things. Our LinkedIn was pretty tragic when I started. We had a few posts and they were, Jess or Jody or Sean talking on some radio podcasts, which was great. Yeah. But I was like, we need to showcase all the lovely faces of Frontera.
Hi there, I'm Chess Williams. I'm the co-founder of Frontera Search Partners. We started the company about 13 years ago.
And show everyone kind of what we're about. So, it's been a lot. There's been a lot of projects that I've been working on. Yeah. Right now I'm working on revamping our website. So we're building that into we're putting it from WordPress into Webflow. So that's been a bit of a challenge, but it's all exciting. And then just learning new things, like learning all about cameras and how to take a good picture, how to take a good video, how to get audio. And Nicole's husband, Steve, has been so helpful with all of that. He's a video guru. He's videoing us right now. So
he is. He's behind the lights. Yeah. Steve, actually, there was you were part of a grander strategy, I believe. And I do think you were in on it. Steve was like, oh, Jillian needs a camera. So we're going to get her the camera. And then he's like, and then you need a different camera. And he's like, well, just so happens that the camera that Jillian originally got, is the same camera we have. And so instead of sending it back, Jillian happened to throw away the box.
Whoa. I didn't throw away the box. I didn't throw away the box.
I knew there was more to this.
This is a problem. Okay, no, this actually, Steve's telling the truth here.
Okay.
And he did me a real solid with this one because what happened was I bought the camera. I didn't realize that it was mainly a video camera and wasn't really great to take photos on. And I kind of wanted something that was a hybrid. And so I was like, that's okay. I can return it. And I look under my desk and the box is gone.
Okay.
The cleaning people threw it away.
Dang.
And they weren't supposed to because I didn't put it next to my trash can, on top of my trash can. And then they proceeded to gaslight me and tell me that I was making it up. So I could only return it if I had the original box that came in. And so I was complaining to Steve and he said, wait, I've actually really been wanting that camera. So
yeah, he has for a while.
Yes,
and now we're a 3-camera operation, which is good, but it was a I found it to be a strategic move to the 3rd camera that we now use. And we've used multiple times, so it's fine. But
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, no, you got your camera. Steve got his camera. Yeah. Now there's 3 angles of all of us, and that's never the worst.
Got to get all the chins on.
That's the thing is I've got one angle. Now we have 3.
Yep.
But so Frontera is uniquely awesome. And I love that you said that you wanted to capture all the beautiful faces of Frontera. And Frontera has one of the most, I've done human resources for over 15 years. Okay. I've worked with a lot of people over the years. I've worked on a lot of teams. I can honestly say, and everyone on our team who like we're now a team of 7, about to be 8. Everyone touches Frontera because it's a large client and y'all are fun to work with. No one's worked with a culture like Frontera.
Yeah.
Like it's uniquely special. Can you talk kind of about what makes Frontera so cool and so special?
So when I was coming out of college and I was interviewing at all these different places, everyone tells you, we have a great culture here. You know, every Monday morning we bring in coffee, and it's like, okay, like, I mean, anyone can do that. So, you know, you take it with a grain of salt when people tell you we have a great culture at our company, because everybody says that. But at Frontera, I have actually learned that to be true. Yeah. The 2 co-founders, Chess and Jody, they started this business back in 2013, and Jody came from a healthcare staffing background. He had a lot of years of experience, a lot of it under his belt, and he actually was working with Chess at the time at Frontera Strategies, which was a diagnostic testing company that he had started. And he came into Chess's office. They always love telling this story, and he said, "Hey, you know, the last company I worked for is asking me to come back and kind of take over and get them ready to sell." And so Chess said, "Why? You know, I'll remove the profanities here." But he said, "Why would you do that?" And Jody said, "Well, listen, I mean, it's a great deal. You know, I'm going to pay me a lot of money, you know." And Chess says, "Don't do that. Let's start our own company that is kind of a counterculture to what healthcare staffing typically is." And what it typically is like very churn and burn. A lot of turnover. How many cold calls can you fit in a day? You know, it's
like
all a
you
numbers
can't leave
game
until you hit your numbers. It's a very stressful, very demanding job.
Yeah, and everyone burns out really quickly. It's like you hire a team of 20, you'll be lucky if 19 of them, or I guess if one of them sticks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they did exactly that, and they did build a counterculture to it, and they decided, hey, let's not focus so much on the numbers. Let's focus on the people first.
Yep.
And let's figure out how can we invest into them and treat them as well as we possibly can, and hopefully that creates a trickle-down effect to where, you know, they then treat the providers well, the providers then treat their patients well, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they've done. I have nothing but positive things to say about both Chess and Jody. They're just amazing humans, and I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah. I think anyone you talk to about Chess and Jody have the same thing to say, and it's they're great leaders. They're good men. You want to be around them.
Yeah.
You want to be, you want to do a good job, because it's like they create this environment of, you know, it's serious work. You know that the job needs to get done. They trust you to do it. And then you just do it. And there's bits of, like, there's so much inspiration that I've gotten from both Chess and Jody. Jody said something once, and we say it all the time, he was like, look, it's not about input, it's about output. And that's been so valuable in how we manage our own people, how we talk to other people about how to manage their people. And we're in this unique time where after COVID, we realize people really can work a hybrid or a flex schedule, or even from home remotely. And it's like, it really is about the output. And I think it was Chess who once has said that, you know, we make a lot of deposits into the relationships that we have with people. But if we need a withdrawal, like, we know it's going to be there. And it's just, in my opinion, Chess and Jody are the absolute definition of like servant leaderships. They're inspirational leaders. And I mean, every day I can say, as you know, Steve and I run this business together, and there is a challenge that is uniquely hard every day, whether it's with a client, whether it's internal with our team, whether it's between us as partners. And I constantly go back to Chess and Jody, and I'm like, be an inspirational leader, be a servant leader. And they make it seem so easy, because I think they do it so naturally. But anyone who knows the struggles of running a business or supporting your people, your team, who is your company, that this is from Chess also, is you have internal like customer service and external customer service. And we have to, as leaders, provide excellent customer service to our employees, because without them, we're nothing.
Right.
And it's like every day, the fact that Chess and Jody move through their day with such grace and such ease in the way that they present this leadership style that they do. I know from just experience on a much smaller level, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And they're just like fun and easygoing and things that, I mean, and that's the other thing about Chess and Jody too, is, you know, especially in human resources, we deal with high risk, stressful, very awkward situations on the daily, not with Frontera, just in general, but in human resources. And so a lot of the times with owners, we're in pretty high octane moments that words that are said in that moment really, really matter. And even watching Chess and Jody in stressful moments, they're like rocks. They're just steady, and it's really, really inspiring.
Yeah. No, I agree. They are the epitome of leading by example, and they have so much integrity, which is so hard to find in anyone these days, especially staffing and just business leaders in general.
Yes.
And I kind of want to touch on that point that you made about how Chess always says make an input every day or a deposit. And that's something that he really taught me when he was kind of mentoring me in my business development starting out, is don't think about what can you do for me? Think about what can I first do for you?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that so many people miss, especially in business development, where it's like take, and then you're never actually giving anything.
Right.
You know, it's like how can I expect somebody to do me all these favors and I'm never doing anything in return?
Right. It's so that's so true, because you always start by giving, and people are with no expectation of return. And I think that's where I believe we align really well with Chess, Jody, in the way that you work as well, is that it's like, let's start by giving. If something comes back, great. And maybe something doesn't come back right away, but down the road, it's really important. And I think that's been like a unique thing in working very well with Frontera. Moss working with Frontera is, I think we align on values and integrity and the way that we treat people, and it always is starting by giving, even if it's employees coming on or providers out in the field. I think it's just a high level of servitude in Frontera, and it's just the difference is being, especially with your marketing. I think you're doing such a great job on LinkedIn, really showcasing what you all do, because that's the other thing about leaders like Chess and Jody, is they're very humble, and it's like this, but it's like we have to tell people about this. It's cool.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. That office video that I made on LinkedIn,
so good.
So many people were texting me like, dude, you got to come make one of these for us. Like this. I'm like, but you can't replicate our culture.
Right. Well, and I think that's why it worked so well, is because like Jody is the Michael Scott. It is so funny.
I know.
It's so uniquely cool and so unique. It is so unique. It's like uniquely unique too. And I don't even mean to be cliche when I say that. It's just the culture is special. And so I think if anyone is interested in learning more about Frontera, to work with you all, to work for you all, or just to learn more, like what's the best way to find Frontera and learn about it?
I mean, our website is probably the best way to reach out to us, filling out a contact form on there, whether you're a facility or a provider looking for a job. LinkedIn is fine as well. I mean, but kind of all roads lead back to the website.
Yeah.
So, and rebrand is coming soon. We're going to launch a new logo and the website and everything. So we're super excited about that.
That's exciting. And you and I have had, luckily we haven't had to work together very often, because you're in marketing and I'm in human resources, and things are generally great with Frontera, especially on the corporate side. But we've had a lot of opportunity to interact, and I feel like we've become friends, and you're so supportive. Like it's just very great. So can you talk a little bit about what it's like to work with Moss and how it's been just with us?
Yeah. So I think in general, I mean, Frontera, it's like, we don't want HR, but we do want HR at the same time. Yeah. And so it was probably really tough. I wasn't around when they were kind of looking at what type of vendors they were going to use for their outsourced HR, but I'm sure they were thinking, okay, well, we want someone who can come in here and really adapt and kind of understand our culture and really mold themselves to us and understand, like, we don't want to change. We don't always, we don't always want to be so like well put together and like buttoned up. Yeah. So, so I think Moss has done an amazing job of that. Is just kind of meeting us where we're at and understanding how we are as a company and how we operate. And it might not always be pretty. Nothing is ever, that pretty. But you guys have done an amazing job.
Thanks.
Just kind of supporting us and just really being able to fit our culture.
Y'all are fun. It's I think most people think of HR as this like dusty old lady, trying to follow the rules. And what I will say, we will always follow the law and we will always be compliant. But the cool thing about our team is we now have, and I don't even know if you know this yet, we brought in 2 people from Houston. They're just amazing. We have someone in Phoenix who's amazing. And between all of us, that's like 60 years of HR experience. And we're bringing on someone else who has 30 years of HR experience. So that's like 90 years of HR experience, which is just so great. And then Steve's
experience. You're gonna have a 100-year party or something?
Yeah, we should. It's a blast. But I think what's really cool about that is we all want to have a good time too. And the reason that people want to work with us is, and I've learned this from Chess and Jody, is like, I will never forget, and I think this is important. The first time I ever talked to Chess and Jody, they were on a call together, obviously, and it was how Chess started the meeting. It set the tone. He was like, Nicole Moss, so nice to meet you. And I was instantly like, I want to work with these guys.
Right,
you could just tell in tone and energy. And so when we're interviewing people, Frontera, it's our sniff test. We're like, would we send this person alone into Frontera instead of me, and would they be able to fit in? Like, that's legitimately, that's what it has to pass the sniff test on Steve and then on me of like, could I send them in with Chess and Jody and the office that is Frontera, and could they stand on their own, get along, make jokes, fit into the culture? And if they don't pass that test, they don't make it past us. Like, and we have Presley, who's amazing, who does a lot of our interviews for us as well. She's the third kind of check mark. And it's been, we hire really fun, very, very smart, but really adaptable people. I like to say I could put on my Betty Banker suit. I can do it. Our team can do it. But fun, like, I love entrepreneurs. I love work. And I don't know if I've coined this term, but creative entrepreneurs is who we work with. Chess and Jody are really good examples. They're creative. They are excellent in their craft, and they started a business. And so I would say most of our clients, probably 9 out of 10 of our clients, are creative entrepreneurs, and they tend to be fun. They tend to be, very integrity driven. And we've been very lucky with our clients. We're supporting 33 companies currently, which is crazy. But I will say that Frontera is just so special, special in both culture and size. And it's been really fun to work with you all.
Yeah. And I agree. Something I always hear at Frontera is, this is the job I'm gonna retire at. Like, from 20-something-year-olds. Yeah. And I am one of them.
Well, it's just so, and I think it's a testament to all business owners out there now who are like, my team isn't jiving, or I have a lot of turnover, or you can create a culture in this day and age with the workforce being the age coming out of college that it is. And I say that and I feel really old saying that, because the workforce is getting younger. It's not. We're just getting old. We elder millennials are getting older. And, but it really, Chess and Jody, you can create an environment that is fun, that is welcoming, that is open, that is hard. It is hardworking. People work hard at Frontera. And I do think, however, I will say one of the challenges, and this is a good thing. I would never say anything negative. There's nothing negative to say, but if you are not used to the culture of Frontera, and you're like, you go in on a Tuesday and everyone's like, hey, let's go to lunch, and maybe you have cocktails at lunch, or maybe like lunch goes a little longer, and then you come back and it's like, it's a beautiful day, let's go golf, or let's go to the club. Like, that is a really, I don't know, difficult, but it's a different mindset to be in when it's like, okay, you have to work as hard as you play. Like, you have to. And that's how it works at Frontera.
Yeah. I remember in my first interview with them, they said, we don't care how many hours a day you work. We don't care where you're working from. You could be on a beach somewhere. We don't care. As long as you're getting your job done and we don't have to question you, then that's fine. I mean, that's all we can ask for. And so I think that really speaks to, obviously who they are as leaders, but also just how much trust they put into us. And Jody always says, I love to just give people the tools and the resources that they need to succeed, and then get out of their way. Yeah. And I don't, I think that's amazing, because it allows people to kind of adapt and really learn what they are good at. Yeah. And that's another great thing about Frontera is, myself included, they noticed that I kind of was leaning towards more marketing things, and that's a lot of where my talent lies. And they said, hey, do you think like this is something you'd be interested in? Because we would love for you to take over our marketing. We think you would do a great job. Yep. And I hadn't even thought about that. I was just kind of thinking in a BD mindset. And same goes for like Claire, for example. She was a provider liaison, and then she said, I think that maybe account management is more suited to my skill set. And so they said, all right. And so they kind of ramped her up to start that. And so I think they're really great in that way, to where they are willing to support you with whatever your skill set is, and kind of adapt into that.
Yeah, and from the HR side, what I can say, and I love talking about this, is like when we presented you with the marketing like idea. There was so much thought and intention behind that conversation. I mean, there were hours of conversations and work and ideas, and Chess and Jody really putting in a lot of time and being like, okay, Nicole, let's put this together and see what this is. And same thing with Claire. I mean, and that is so rare anymore, that much intention and care goes into every single one of their employees. And I can think and I'm not going to say names, but I can think of multiple instances where like you and Claire esque situations have come up, and it's just it's very cool. So on that note, we love Frontera.
Yes.
Jillian, thank you for being here, and to everyone watching the Moss Minute, we'll see you next time.
It's fast, it's fun, it's the